Hey Taurus, welcome to your love and romance reading for March 2021. If you are sick and tired of all of us tarot readers that do nothing but love readings, you came to the right channel. You just clicked on the wrong video. For those of you who don't know, every single week I do a weekly forecast for all the zodiac signs where we talk about everything but love. But this is the love reading. So for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, we're setting the intention here for Venus as well to see what's coming up for Taurus in the month of March 2021 in the area of love and romance. So let's get right to it, my darlings. What is going on for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for love and romance? So your first card here is the Six of Cups. Okay, now this can indicate reconciliation or somebody resurfacing from the past. If you have Scorpio in your chart, this card also came up for Scorpio, and for them the vibe was that this was somebody coming back from a past life. So this could be a confirmation for you that maybe this is your first time meeting the person in this life, but there's like this kindred spirit vibe here. There's like this feeling like you feel like you know this person. And for you guys, Taurus, it could be somebody coming back into your life from a past life. Like it's your first time meeting now, but they're coming back from a past life because they are ready to right some wrongs here, to do things right this time around. Now, this can have a message as far as what might be blocking you in your love life. If you're watching this video and you're like, man, I don't even know where I would meet somebody. I don't even know how somebody would come in. I feel so blocked in love. I just feel like love life energy is not moving for me. In that instance, I have seen because these are general readings. I have to cover the basis here for the different circumstances. So in those instances, I've seen the Six of Cups come up to say that what's blocking you is you might be regretting some decisions that you made in the past, right? Whether you regretted trusting somebody or whether you regretted walking away from a relationship, there might be some past regrets where you keep looking over your shoulder, figuratively, looking at the past. And Spirit is saying that that needs to be released. You need to be in the here and now so that you can move on with your life and have new love coming in. And the question is always how. How do I move on? How do I do that? And the Six of Cups tells us we do that by being in the present moment and that reminding ourselves that we might be looking at the past, remembering things better than they actually were. Right? You gave somebody that chance not because you're naive, not because you're stupid, but because that person behaved in a way that made you feel like you could trust them, right? You didn't just one day wake up and leave a relationship for no reason. There were issues there. There were things that were being triggered. There were needs that weren't being met. You didn't just one day wake up and decide not to be with somebody for no reason. And the Six of Cups comes up to say sometimes we're remembering things better than they actually were. Okay, and so you have to remind yourself of that, right? You made those decisions for a reason. Remind yourself, I'm a smart person, I'm intelligent, I'm not foolish. I have to trust my feelings, and I have to trust that I felt a certain way for a reason. You didn't wake up with feelings for no reason, right? So some of you might be breaking away from somebody that even has been gaslighting you a little bit. Your next card here is the Hierophant. Now this is especially auspicious for you, Taurus, okay? And I'll tell you why. For me, in my readings, when I'm reading for somebody's zodiac sign, right, and the major arcana card for their zodiac sign comes up, it tells me this is a powerful, powerful moment in your life. This is a time in which you're having a really significant awakening and you're stepping into your power. You're taking your power back and you're stepping into your full authenticity. You're remembering who you are. You're breaking away from all of the conditioning that's been put on you in your life, okay? And you're coming into your authentic self. The Hierophant here is a major arcana card, and the major arcana cards in general come up when we are at a significant crossroads, a defining chapter in our life. We're dealing with a significant soulmate, a significant moment of growth. Okay? And the Hierophant has to do with connection. It has to do with commitment. It has to do with honesty, with truth, with beliefs. And so a lot of you are getting very aligned with what you truly believe in your gut, like what your ethics are, what your principles are, the way you're choosing to live your life moving forward. And your love life has been challenged because you've been aligned with, or you've been trying to align with, I should say, trying to align with people who don't share those same ethics and principles and morals, right? Like, for example, if you are a spiritual person, uh, some people have the belief that, okay, well, you're spiritual and you're not religious, so that must mean that you live a wild child kind of lifestyle. And that's not the case. There are some people who are spiritual who live a very free spirited way of life, but not all people who are spiritual are that way. There are some people who are spiritual and still have those old school morals. They still have those old school beliefs, right? You know, spirituality is much like religion. There's very different approaches to it. There's very different ways of explaining it, and there's very different levels of, you know, I don't want to say right and wrong, but there's very different levels of, you know, what some people think is okay and what some people think is not okay, right? And so, maybe some of you have been very open about your spirituality, or the fact that you aren't necessarily a religious person, and maybe it's attracted people to you that just kind of have seen you as like, oh, well, then, you know, we're just gonna have a good time. And you're like, nope, you know, like, you're manifesting commitment, you're manifesting ethics, you're manifesting truth, you're manifesting somebody with morals here, Taurus. And maybe some of you had a blast, maybe you went out there and you were the wild child, but the Hierophant is saying you're coming back into simpler times, and you're coming back into, like I said, like those old school values, and you're wanting someone with values. Okay, so some of you might be feeling really ready to settle down, right? And you're very clear now about the kind of people that you're wanting to have around you. Okay, Hierophant can also be overcoming commitment issues. Okay, so you might be trying to manifest a relationship and you're like, why do I keep attracting people with commitment issues, right? Or why does my partner have commitment issues? Well, I'm going to say this, and it's not a popular message, and some of you might get upset with me, but the truth is that if you're attracting somebody with commitment issues, it's because you have commitment issues. But your commitment issues might be coming across differently than the other people, and I'll explain why. People hear commitment issues and they think of somebody that wants to go off and be a player, or wants to go off and have a bunch of different partners. That's not always what commitment issues look like, right? There are people that have really severe commitment issues and they live a very lonely life. They don't have any partners, let alone multiple partners, because they're so afraid to commit that they're going to get hurt. They're going to trust the wrong person. They're going to let the wrong person in. It's going to be just like in the past, right? Or how do they know that this is the right person? And so commitment issues, my dear, it's like we're so afraid that we're going to choose the wrong person, and we're on that vibration. And what do? We manifest the wrong kind of person. Our commitment issues attract somebody that has commitment issues, and they go and they do the same thing that had us have the commitment issues to begin with. So this is a time that you're going to be able to break out of that cycle. Okay, and you're going to break out of that cycle by aligning with people here that have your beliefs, that have your ethics, that have your morals. Your next card here, my darlings, is the Sun. Another beautiful major arcana card. How very beautiful. So now we've got the major arcana cards coming in back to back. March is going to be a really significant month for Taurus in terms of upgrading your energy, healing, overcoming blockages, coming into a higher frequency, and manifesting higher vibrational love. Okay, those of you that you are in a relationship, maybe one or both of you has been unfaithful, and that Hierophant card could mean that you guys are recommitting to the relationship, that, you know what, we're going to do it right this time. Or if you're single, you're manifesting someone who's looking for commitment. And the whole message here with the Sun card is true love, right? The kind of love where there's also trust, right? If you call that person or text that person and they don't get back to you right away, you're not freaking out. You're not going, oh my gosh, what if they're going to ghost me again? Or, oh my gosh, what if they're, off talking to somebody else or hooking up with somebody else? You don't have those fears. You're like, okay, well, they're busy right now, or they didn't get my message, and as soon as they get my message, they'll call me back or they'll text me. You're not worried about it. You're not freaking out about where they are and what they're doing. Okay, and the person is the same way with you. There's complete and total trust, and you guys have your relationship, but you also have independence to be your own person. The Sun card is also playfulness. It's like a relationship and a connection where your inner child can come to the surface and play with that person's inner child. There's like a genuine like a sincere, like innocent connection almost as well. Laughing, playing, joking around, light-hearted energy, just connecting on a very pure level. Okay. And so I feel here too that some of you are getting really into like fantasy stuff, magical fantasy. I don't know why, but my mind went straight to the Never-Ending Story and Rainbow Bright. I'm a child of the 80s, so when I think of like childhood magical stuff, that's the era I go back to, but maybe you're a bit younger than me, or maybe you're a bit older than me, so you might think of other things from like childhood that you associate with like magic and inspiration and wonder. And I feel there's like a deep level of healing that's coming from that you're putting into the relationship as well, or you're beginning some kind of creative project and your partner is being very supportive of you as you're doing that. Okay, so there could be something here like teamwork on a creative project in some way. Your next card here, my darlings, is the Two of Swords. Okay, so how do we go from such positive, happy energy to Two of Swords? How is this possible? Two of Swords is letting us know what's kind of in the way here. Two of Swords is procrastination. Two of Swords is fear. Two of Swords is like we're afraid to move forward. So this is confirming the message that came in, that some of you Taurus are so bound up with your fear of commitment that you're afraid to move forward with somebody. You're afraid to let somebody in. And the Two of Swords basically wants you to know that if you just take a moment to push that blindfold off your eyes, you're going to see that even though the path might not be totally clear, even though you don't know completely and totally what's ahead on the path, right? Because it's nighttime, there's enough moonlight shining in from above, behind you, to show you what's ahead of you, right? And you can begin taking steps. And little by little, as you make progress down that path, that moonlight is still there. So you're going to see the road piece by piece, a little at a time. If you see something you don't like, you can turn around and go back if you want to. Or you can choose a different direction. Plus, you have these two swords. Hello, what do you have to be afraid of? Your experience has given you tools. These swords are symbolic of those tools. You can protect yourself. You have the ability to stand up for yourself. You have the ability to say, you know what, this doesn't feel good anymore. This doesn't feel fun anymore. I don't want to do this anymore, right? Or this relationship was good, but maybe it's time for me to go in a new direction. You have the ability to do that. You're not a sitting duck. What makes you a sitting duck is if you're just sitting there with your eyes covered. Nothing more dangerous that you could do than to be sitting there with your eyes covered. Okay? So this is getting over your fears. Getting over your fears and trusting in yourself. Trusting in your ability to make a decision. Trusting in your ability to move forward. Trusting that you can see the path a little at a time, and if you see something you don't like, you can change direction and you can protect yourself. by being cautious. We're not talking about the Fool card here, where you're jumping in head first and, wherever you land, you land. If you land on your head, you land on your head. That's not what we're talking about here. This is, be cautious. Don't be afraid. Don't be terrified. Just be cautious. And that will give you a sense of safety. That will give you a sense of control. Okay? Your next card here is the Ten of Cups. Holy cannoli. Wow. So this is contentment. This is fulfillment. This is inner peace. This is being happy with every area of your life and every aspect of your relationship, right? The Ten of Cups is just outside your comfort zone. That's all it comes down to. It's just outside of your comfort zone, just outside of that element of fear, right? True, nothing in life is guaranteed. I feel some of you Taurus that are watching, you're also very intuitive. Some of you might be fellow readers like me. Some of you might be readers that have, your own tarot channels on YouTube, and you might have a following and people come to you for readings. Or even if you're not out there in that way, you might be a very intuitive person and you're able to tell your friends and your family, oh, you know what, this person's good for you. Or, oh, you know what, I wouldn't trust that person. And you're right 10 out of 10 times. But when it comes to you, you have a very hard time reading for yourself. When it comes to you, you have a very hard time knowing, who is for you and who isn't for you. And Spirit is saying that's not a coincidence. That is your lesson right now, to move with faith, right? And to know that you're not allowed to know everything about your path, because if you were, you could breeze past all of your lessons. You can skip over them, and that would be cheating. That's not allowed, right? So you don't get to know everything that's going to happen in your future. Just as when you read for other people, you don't get to know everything that's happening in their future. We can only reveal what we have permission to reveal. So the Ten of Cups is just letting you know, Taurus, that happiness is ahead for you. You just have to get over your fear. And instead of being fearful, simply be cautious. Pay attention to the road, right? Pay attention to what's ahead. And if you see danger, you know from past experience what you need to do or what needs to be avoided, right? But you might go down that road and keep going down further and further and further because it just keeps getting better and better and better. But you don't know until you start moving forward. Okay? So your Ten of Cups is just down the road here. Okay? It's just about coming out of your comfort zone and coming out of your fear. You might want to watch your moon sign and rising sign videos. You might want to watch your Venus sign video here for a little extra information. Some months, particular placements might resonate for you more than others. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you want to go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. Okay? And the weekly forecasts. Don't forget to check those out, my lovelies. Do not forget to check out your weekly forecasts, because yes, love is important. Yes, love keeps things, fun and interesting, but let's not forget the other aspects of life either. Take care, my dears. Bye.